So it's been a while since I picked up the camera, but we're not just gonna be talking about the Lexus, we're not gonna be talking about the G, if you guys remember. Today we're gonna be talking about the S2000, and to give you guys some context, I've had this car for a little bit over a year now, and you guys probably haven't seen a lot of videos. You guys are probably wondering, like, you know, does he still have it? Is there any plans to even fix it up, mod it up, do anything to it, or is it just gonna be kept stock? The past year, I kind of just kept it stock because I wanted to enjoy the car for what Honda made the S2000 to be in a stock form. We see S2000s modded around all the time, big wing, wide body, bag sometimes, straight up stance, track cars. We've seen it all. But what I wanted to do, I wanted to experience the stock S2000 life first before I start modding it up. Let's go ahead, head to the garage, and then we'll start talking about this bad boy. My hair's a mess and I need a haircut, so we're just not gonna worry about that. But we're back in the garage. So to start off, I bought the S2000, one because obviously, like, I feel like an S2000 is definitely one of the top tier, like, JDM cars that if anyone can attain, they're probably gonna wanna have at least a chance to try to own one at one point in their life. Or if it's like their top dream car, hopefully they can attain that. And for me, the S2000 was probably like in my top 5 cars that I've ever wanted. So for me to actually buy it, I wanted to kind of feel the stock form of it before I start doing all the modifications. As a backstory, this is a 2003 AP1 Honda S2000. Everything, for the most part, on the car is bone stock. The only thing that I really have on the car is, you know, these clear side reflector markers, the vintage Honda badge. Before I bought the car, I knew this was a very driver-focused car. Just by looking at it, you know, everything is pointed literally at the driver. The passenger has about, like, you know, 1 vent. The driver has 2. It's not very much, but at the same time, this car wasn't really meant for lugging around a lot of people or even a lot of luggage. And yeah, I wanted to kind of experience what everyone was saying, like, is the hype really real on the S2000? And I want to say it is. It literally feels like a go-kart on the street, and it feels insane. If you guys ever driven a go-kart before, just imagine driving a full-size car that feels like a go-kart on the street. That's pretty much how it feels like. This is the first stick shift car that I've ever bought. So considering that there's no mods done, I'm honestly not surprised, because I wanted to kind of learn how to drive stick shift. And you know, I knew how to drive stick, but it's not that I knew how to drive it on a daily basis. Be stuck in traffic, taking on ginormous hills. So I wouldn't say that I am like the expert at driving stick, but this car being my first stick shift car, I kind of wanted to learn how to drive stick before even lowering the car or having a loud exhaust and then like not even knowing how to drive stick. On today's video, I mainly just wanted to talk about my experiences in my first year of owning an S2000. Is it worth the hype? And kind of, you know, go over what's next and how I feel about the car now. So the past year, this car has really been absolutely fun to drive. I've taken it to work, I've taken it on back roads, I've taken it to, you know, coffee runs, grocery runs, whatever. In the first few months of actually taking it on, you know, roads and all that stuff, driving it to work and everything, I really had to temper my expectations when it came to gas, being able to fit whatever I need to fit in here, and, you know, the comfortability in this car. Because initially when I first bought it, I was like, you know, I'm gonna take the Lexus one day, I'm gonna take the S2000 one day, and everything's gonna be fine because I have another car that I can use. But unfortunately, that wasn't necessarily the case. Just because of my expectations of it, I think I kind of screwed myself over in that sense. Because I was automatically thinking like, oh, it's a Honda, it's probably gonna save me on gas, it's a stick shift car, and you know, I'm probably gonna be saving more gas. But in all honesty, I think it was the exact opposite, where I'm spending more gas, because the gas mileage on this car is absolutely not the best. It could be a lot worse, but it's absolutely not the best. But this brings me to my next point. I have a really good friend who owns a 1967 Mustang, very vintage old car, but what she posted the other day kind of resonated with me in this car. Obviously a 2003 is not as old as a 1967, but having an older car, you can't expect it to do the same things that a 2009 like Lexus would do. If you wanted to talk about gas mileage, you should have just bought a Prius, or I should have just bought a Tesla in all honesty. This car was not meant to be a gas saver. Obviously you can daily drive it. I was literally complaining, and that was where I really messed myself up, because this is not a car where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna keep it tame today. I'm not gonna go ham when I'm driving it. this car really wants to go. Like this car absolutely, like whenever you drive it, whenever you get on it, it literally just wants to like, you know, put you, it's not gonna put you in your seat because it's not like super fast, but it just literally wants to drive. It doesn't want to be tame. It doesn't want to be like cruising. Of course you can, but it literally wants to drive. So next, is the car worth the hype? 110%. This car is absolutely worth every single word everyone says about this car. We all see it in the Fast and Furious. We all see it on Instagram. We all see it on TikTok. These cars look amazing, but looks are also different than how it drives. You won't be disappointed if you ever get into an S2000 and you just absolutely drive it to its full potential, because this car is just absolutely amazing. There's a lot of cars out there that I do want to drive and just kind of feel how it, just see how it feels, because everyone's like, yeah, you know, those cars are great. But until you actually drive it and until you actually get the sensation of being behind the wheel in it, you won't really know until you drive. I kind of just wish that these cars were more available to people, because I feel like everyone should experience driving this car at least once in their lifetime. If you guys are a driver enthusiast or you like S2000s, I feel like everyone needs to drive this car, but because it's 100% worth the hype. So to close out this segment of the video, you guys are probably like, what's next for the car? Like, are you gonna fix it up? Or are you just gonna keep it stock? You enjoy it stock? No, we're finally gonna get to mod. Fine. So I did have a part come in the past few days, and I do have parts on order for this car. Having authentic parts is definitely not the easiest thing to come by. Hard tops, definitely hard to come by. It's very, very expensive to find a hard top. Coilovers for this car, like the top-notch coilovers if you want, those run you about like maybe $2,000 to $3,000. So it's definitely not cheap to mod this car, but it's definitely not impossible. So the goal for me, I do have a vision in mind of what I have for this car, and today we're actually gonna be installing a part, so that's gonna be a different video. So if you guys see me wearing the same shirt, that explains it why. But there's no rush with this car. I think with the Lexus, I don't want to say that I was pressured, but with COVID, I didn't really have much to do in terms of like, you know, I can't travel anywhere, and it's not like I'm gonna be going to a lot of places, so I might as well just fix up the Lexus. So yeah, we do have a lot of things on the plate coming up for, you know, this car, so I'm super excited. My inner childhood is definitely just like freaking out. I've been going to a lot of like local S2000 car meets, and I've been getting a lot of inspiration, and the people there are just super helpful. I've learned a lot about this car in the past like 2 months that I've been going to these car meets, and I have, you know, just researching about this car. I gotta head home, and then we're gonna install the part later. So hopefully you guys stay tuned for that video. All right, y'all, so I made it back home. I had to do whatever I needed to take care of. Before I end the video, I'm just gonna give you guys a little sneak peek on what I'm about to install for the S2000. Yeah. So I'm not gonna go too much in detail on what that install is, but I'm pretty sure you guys already know what the install is gonna be if you guys know what those two particular parts are. Yeah, I just wanna thank you guys for tuning into today's video. This is just like the start of the S2000 build. If you guys can give me recommendations on what you guys wanna see for the S2000, definitely leave them in the comment section down below. But if you guys enjoyed today's video and you guys are excited for the S2000 build, definitely give this video a huge thumbs up. And if you guys aren't already, subscribe to the channel down below. But I'm gonna get started in installing this part on the S2000. But until the next video, I'll see you guys in the next one.